taba re le bua modimo ka tseno ka fela ka ditaba tseo di buang mabapi le taba ya radio Kgosheletsane me re le bua haholo ba re motlana se bela tsoma metswela radio Kgosheletsane moetapele wa ka ha ke bua le wena tsela go dira morao ha mo profetane a re o na le calling a o bitsitsa ka kerekeng kapa o bitsitsa pela hae calling ena ke efeng
Dangi Natama Bosho, you know what, I'll repeat that again, that this person we're talking about, Sambo Paul Evan, he's a manipulator of note, you know. Natemu Kota has spoke about 3 different kinds of pastors. He has mentioned that one category, number 1, those that are called by God. The second ones are those that are called by the devil. The third ones are those that they call themselves. Mm-hmm. I want to believe and put it to people out there that this one is definitely the one who's called by the devil himself.
Okay.
Because the way that is operating and the way that it does things, I will explain in details as we go on the things that I've experienced and the things that I've handled with my hands. Thinking I'm serving God, the God of the Bible, I discovered later that this is not the God of the Bible. I'm being introduced here or recruited to another God. But surely this is not the God of the Bible. So concerning the issue of resignation, when he spoke to me about the calling, I've been told before, whereby you've been told by a man of God, a woman of God, to say, God, there's a calling of God on you. God wants to use you. God will do this and this and this in future with you. Mm-hmm. But they did not say this is time, this is now, you know, like wait on the Lord. When that time comes, God himself will show you the way how to go about it.
Okay.
So when I met him, he said the same thing, that there's a calling of God on you, but you need to be taught, you need to be groomed. You know, I remember the scriptures of Elijah and Elijah, you know, and all that you need to serve in order for you to be able to be. And he even said to God, you are being introduced. You know, you cannot know God by yourself. You need a man who's going to introduce you to God.
Okay.
Those were his teachings. I remember even his examples. He will say Moses had Jethro, you know, and Joshua. Is it Moses and Joshua? The way you will put it, you know, you will make it in such a sense that it will make sense to you that, hey, I need a man that I will call as my spiritual father. Like Moses had issues, he will run to Jethro, you know, and then Samuel had Eli, you know. Those were his examples. So he will make it, you know, to such an extent you will feel that I really need a man of God who can help me because I don't know God. A person who has worked with God before, who can be able to teach me and introduce me. Only did I know that it was a scam. He wanted to replace God because already there were certain things. By God's grace, God will show you things in dreams and visions, you know, and you will see those things. Already you had a pattern whereby you can see that this can only be God. This can only be God. This can only be God. But he came now and replaced that and said, look, you need a man that will take you to God. So that is how I fell in that trap.
Okay. So, yaba calling thing.
The calling, it was not specified by him to say God has called you to be this or to be that.
But
that's right. And even for him to bring me closer, it's quite clear to me I was his victim because the way he's operating, he identified his victims very well.
Okay.
And it does not bring anybody close to him who's nothing. Because at that time I was working for government as an investigator. Mm-hmm. So I've got skills, you know, how to investigate, gather information and so forth. So I think he had interest, number one, because of that. Also, I wouldn't say we're bad with my family. By the grace of God, we're doing well. Even the people who are still going to church, upon our arrival, they can attest that, look, these people were okay. as much as the state when we left that church, because now we could see that this cannot be God. Definitely, this cannot be God. Yes.
So, o victimizitse jwang ha ke re o victimizitse jwang kapa experience ya hao le yena ke feng?
The way this man has used me, he has victimized me financially, spiritually. Even he used even my skills. He has used me, to be quite honest with you. You know, he has used me. He has used me. He has used me a lot. This guy. He has used me to get information from me. Number one, for instance, in a sense that let's say in a sense that there's somebody who comes to church because of my skills. Maybe he's driving a certain car. He will ask me, can I conduct investigation on this person's vehicle? When I go to your registration, it will give me your profile, your ID number, where are you coming from, where do you stay. So I will get that information, give me fair honor, you know, and say, Master, this information you've asked me to gather concerning this gentleman, you know. So he has done that a lot of time to a lot of people to say, can you do this? Can you do this? At first, I did not know why he wants this information. Some of his people, they are so-called his brothers, they are so-called pastors and prophets. He will still ask me to get that information for those people, and then I'll give it to him. But I realized it later now at one stage, one of the church members, when he gave the prophecy to church concerning this lady, because the information that I get concerning you, it gives me your address, your ID number, where are you staying before, where are you staying currently. It's got all the information, confidential information concerning yourself. And then he was in church. He called his sister, he prophesied to the sister. But now it clicked to my mind to say, look, this information, I'm the one who gave you this information. How come it is a prophecy today? So meaning which it's highly impossible that all the information I've been gathering, he will take it to church and use it to prophesy. Because the lady was shocked to say, but how did the man of God knows about ABCD? But in my heart of hearts, something says, look, this information, this prophecy this man is giving is information that you have gathered for him. He used me, I've been driving him up and down around. I was his driver. I was the head of his security and his protocol. So I was close to him in a way whereby I happened to see certain things that whereby I was like, look, this can't be God here. Even if I'm being introduced to God, but this is not the God of the Bible. Surely this must be another God.
Ho etsahetseng hore o now introduce to something you're no, this is not God.
If you allow me to give you few examples,
okay,
you know, in order to answer you so that everything here is going to make sense, you know.
Okay, that.
There's other day that he came to me. He said to me, is it possible that you can get somebody that you know from Soweto or wherever, you know, a person who's very smart, who will come to church with a firearm. And then this person, while I'm preaching, the person can just, you know, withdraw the firearm as if he's shooting me. But the firearm, you know, is not going to go off. As if by the power that I'm possessing, I've stopped that. You know, it did not happen. So that people would be like, wow, this man is moving with God. You know, God is too much in this man, you know. So that it shook me to say, but where is the God of the Bible? The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. What is happening here? And the way he operates, he is having that rule of divide. You must divide and rule. That's the rule that the man is using. Anything it talks to you, you're not supposed to tell the next one, even your wife. And he will coach me and say, look, don't tell your wife anything. And sometimes the wife, he thinks God talks to her yet are these things. These things, he refers to the demons. That those are the demons that are talking to wife. So don't share anything here. So I'm doing these things, but I'm watching him closer to say, but what is this?
So did you get somebody from the very same person was true and all that?
I got that person who was going to pull that string, or even said on that when I was shocked. You could see that I was shocked. He said, no, even this televangelist, the man who was in Nigeria, there's a video whereby he was seen, whereby he was holding a firearm, somebody from the congregation. He said, no, that one was a stance that he pulled. So these things, they happen. But I was like, I'm shocked now, because the Bible that I've been reading is like now, so I was like, okay, but that one, it did not happen, because for some reason I did not push it. I already got the person, but I did not push it. I was duck and diving, because I'm surprised, like, but what is all this? What is all this? I mean, it does not make sense to me. Now I've been investigating people, and then this now, it came as a prophecy now, and then this one now, it's a stance, but where is God? When this person is praying for these people moving there, at first I thought it was God, this is the power of God, but definitely can't be the power of God. I mean, what kind of power here? What is happening here? Something is not right in this space. But I continue. I did not withdraw. It was something that was happening within me, inside of me, to say, look, here, there's no God here. I continued serving him, being a son, driving him. Anywhere we want to go, I will drive him. And ever since this vehicle we had, that man, I think, has put the fuel 3 times. For 5 years, serving him. Anywhere wants to go, I will drive him. Everybody knows in that church, I'll be driving him up and down.
With your own car?
With my own car.
So in other words, petrol how you will tell them more. Okay.
And mind you, I'm not staying in the Val. I'm staying in Johannesburg.
Okay.
He will call and say, where are you? I need to see you. Can you be here in 30 minutes, in 45 minutes? I will stop whatever I'm doing and race to Meyerton and fetch him. And then we say, let's go to Joburg. We are going back to Joburg with my fuel. He will do whatever I want to do. When he's done, we'll go back to Meyerton. We'll spend time maybe around about 8 or 10 or so, or 11. Then he releases me. I'm going back to my family. So I had no time for my family. I'm always in church, running up and down, driving him up and down. I never had time to spend time with my family.
Ke batla o tseba hore na hona le ntho ya kileng are ke understand ena ya pele ya di investigations and all that ene etsahala ka hore o no sa tsebe hore o na le intention ene le eng, but ila click ha o bona a professor ya motho ka ntho e we bonetse ba ngora ena entse ke nena. Now wa hana this second one ya hore are ho wena batla somebody atle ka sethunya as if batla ho nthunya. Hona le kileng ya etsahala eleng hore o la re o etse ya etsahala ka kerekeng batho ba e bona and batho ba bona ba re wow, a prophet of God.
You know what, that Demokotokoto,
right.
There's so many things that has happened. It's a pity the people of God, they do not know those things. For instance, there's a man who's a pastor there. They call him Pastor Zwane. This guy, he was owed by a certain guy money. As he was being owed by this guy money, this guy came to me. He said to me, this Samuel Poleven, let us go to this guy and imitate him to say, look, you must pay this money.
You intimidate him?
To intimidate the guy.
All right.
We drove all the way from Val to Israel to intimidate this guy. Mind you, this so-called Pastor Zwane knows nothing about this stance that this man is doing. And I'm looking this closer, but I'm shocked. I'm doing this because I respected the man. I thought this man is a man of God. This man is a prophet of God, you know. So I thought I'm serving God. Like we committed everything, our resources, everything we committed to serve. We thought we were serving God. We went there. When I got there, he was in the car. I got inside there. I intimidated the man to say, look, you got to pay this money, failing which.
O tsamaya le mang wena?
Ke tsamaya le yena.
Le prophet.
Le yena. Remember, him cannot be seen because he's a prophet.
All right.
So therefore, he's in the car. So I'm the one who's going there to say, look, you must pay this money. And then the guy said, look, I spoke to Mr. Zwane. This is how we're going to handle the matter and whatnot. But guess what, Dada Maboshobosh? The guy paid the money, but not the whole money. I think after some few days, the guy paid the money. But the so-called pastor does not know. The man present to him as if the anointing of this house is working. God is at work. I'm not sure if I'm making sense. But I'm thinking, this is a scam because we went to intimidate this man to say, you've got to pay money, this man. The man paid. And the man said, we need this money because of we need to do A, B, C, D in church. So let's go. He put it upon himself and I went there with him. The man paid. And he did not tell me that the man paid. How did I realize I saw that the man has paid? He stopped. The man called me again and said, look, remember the guy who went to? I said, yes, prophet. He said, okay, please go back to the guy again. Yes, though he paid, but he stopped. So I had to get another guy who went again. That's when now I was able to see that, look, this is how this guy is operating. To this one, he does not know, this so-called Pastor Zwane. He thinks it's anointing of this house is working. This person was owing me, the man was paid. Now, I'm saying this guy has used me. This guy has been using me now. That's why I'm saying I've been used financially. My skill was used by this guy. You know, he used me to do things that when I look at them, I said, God, have mercy. Because if I knew, I wouldn't have done this. I thought I was serving God. This is the way of serving you. Little did I know that, look, there was no God here in the first place. And the reason to say there is no prophet here, surely, I want to explain to say why I'm saying that. In so many cases, he will come and say to me, the angel came to me and said, me, I'm recording him. I'm thinking the way I'm so loyal to this man, serving this man with everything, I risk everything. I could even take a bullet for this man. How can me be recording this man? I said, no. There's something that is not right here. Which God this man is talking about? I continue serving him until at some stage where this man, was it 2018 or 2019? He called me. He said he was doing something for business people, but I was not there. It was on Friday. He said I must come on that Friday. I must dress white. I must bring an oil.
Oil moya lo.
No, I must bring an olive oil.
Okay.
And I bought it.
Mm-hmm.
We used to have usually Friday services. We had that Friday service there. It was okay. At about 1 a.m. or 2 a.m., he called me. He said I must take the car to that side from the side of the church to the main house. I must fetch him. When I got in there, he was putting on a white garment and having a sword. He got inside the car.
Lena kenze white.
Lena kenze white.
Okay.
He said, let's go. And when this is happening, he said to me, remember, we're going to do something for business, you know. So me, I'm thinking, hey, here I still have to see God because I don't know. And you're constantly being told that you people think you know God, you don't know God. You people think you know God, you don't know God. So I'm thinking, hey, I'm really, on the way to know God now because definitely, because the one I was reading, it's like I was doing, they are different, like, with this God. I fetched him. We drove to he said drive. He was directing me. As he was directing me, next thing we found ourselves by Val River. And as we're driving there, he knows the direction, 10 here. It's like somebody who comes, when you know a place that you come here as often as you want to. Exactly. But me, I did not know. Mm-hmm. Then we were there by the river bank, by the Val River, and then he said to me, okay, he took the sword, he did something on the ground here. I don't know what was he doing, but it was something that was, I have not seen in the Bible, but he did it. And then said, kneel here. I knelt there. Then he said, pray. Then we pray, And then he began to speak in tongues. But I know those were, by then I thought those were tongues. But now I know that those were just incantations. He prayed. I think about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, we were there. But something in my heart, that little voice says, look, as we are here, there's something that's supposed to come from the water and meet you here. But I'm like, I don't know, whatever God this guy is talking about today, it means I'll have to meet God if he's the God of the Bible, that the one that I'm after with my heart, but we shall see. Then after an hour, nothing happened. He said, no, it's okay, let's go. Or he put the oil on me and they said, let's go. Then we went to the car, then we drove off. But you could see that he's very disappointed. It's like whatever mission that was supposed to happen, it did not happen the way he wanted it to happen. And mind you that you remember being told not to tell anybody. So I'm thinking, I can't even ask him, what is it that has just happened? Or what is it that was supposed to happen as we're doing what we're doing? What is it? I did not ask him, but we could see that he's not happy. He's disappointed, And also I couldn't ask him, what's wrong? What happened? We came back. And then from there I drove off home. I did not tell him, my wife or anybody what happened, But this thing, it kept on bugging me because nothing happened in my business to where doors opened, like I've seen miracles, things were flowing. My business just kept on going down, 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 down until it dried up. Nothing happened. Now, it remained in my heart to say, what kind of God this person is serving or is trying to introduce me to? Because definitely, he's not the God of the Bible. And for him to parade and say he's a prophet, this man, there's no way he's a prophet of God. Why I'm saying that? Because of these things, like when he prophesied to me, the angel has said to me, I've done this, I'm doing this, yet I know I don't do this. An incident it happened in church whereby they stole a sound equipment. We're somewhere in Posh, there was crusade there. And there was a boy who was staying in that church. His name was called Claudius, was staying there. We came back from Posh because now they said that the sound is stolen, so we had to race coming down to the church, and there was no one. He checked, everybody was around there. Hey, what happened? He explained. They checked the cameras, they did not see exactly, and they almost killed this other boy who was there in church. Then we left. But he continued to say to me, look man, there are boys who have stolen the sound. I think they are not far from the church. Some colored boys, they are staying not far from the church. We need to go there and check these guys, what happened and all that. If these guys are the ones who have stolen the sound and whatnot, we need to go and check there and see what's happening. On the other hand, he's suspecting this boy, Claudius. Now I'm confused. I say, but you are a prophet. He said, but you are suspecting this one, you are suspecting that one. But what is happening? Isn't that this man is a man who hears from God? But why we're having this situation? Because this one, it's close to his heart that they've stolen the sound. Definitely God could have quickly come to his aid and said, look, this is what has happened. But now it's not happening. We went to ambush the house of these boys. We checked there. We did not find any body there. We found this boy. We checked. There was nothing there. As we're there, he said, no, there's a pill. These people, they use. They give somebody, if let's say your spouse is cheating, you give your spouse. Then after some few seconds, your spouse will begin to talk.
Right.
The truth. So I said, no. Do you know that pill? I don't know that pill. I said, look, Zwane has it, but just that Zwane. The prophet. Exactly, I'm driving. Right. So all this is, remember, happening. I'm thinking, I'm questioning myself, but what is happening? So we said, look, I could ask Zwane because Zwane does have in the family, but Zwane is sleeping. We'll ask so many questions, and whatnot. I said, no, it's okay, it's fine. Then we drove. We went to, he said, let's go to, what is this place? I don't remember this place. Is Didier is what? This other colored place? Roshli. Before Roshli? Rastaval. When is Rastaval? We checked. They said, this guy, I don't know if they ran out of stock. Then I said, let's go to Roshli. We can find some boat. We got in Roshli there. We look for this. We met this other guy. We asked him, do you have this? The guy, no, I have it. How much? It's 500 rands, one pill. So the man, he took the money, gave it to the guy. All this is happening in front of me. I'm asking him, I said, but this is a man who comes every Sunday and preach, boldly, and like he demonstrate the power of God. But what power? What's happening here? There's a contradiction here. Something here is just not right here. Then we got the pill. We did not get the pill. We did not get the pill. The guy disappeared. The guy just disappeared with the money. And so I waited outside. We waited for a very long time. We waited. I said, I think this guy has knocked us. 500 rands.
Okay.
I said, say, they've knocked us here. Mm-hmm. This guy has disappeared. He has knocked us. Mm-hmm. I went to check. As I'm busy checking, they've got cameras all over there and the security. They could see me doing all this up and downs. Now we're driving out now. The security came, they stormed at us, they stopped us. What is happening? We've seen you up and down, checking what is happening. I tried to explain to them, look, this is what has happened. Somebody's owing us money, so this person now is dodging what. They let us, we left. But now, what stuck in my mind to say, this man is a prophet. We started to these Carol guys to check if the sound is there. We moved from there. We're looking for the pill now to make this person that is suspecting to get the pill so that the person can talk. What is happening here? Where is God in all this equation? What is happening here? Then we got inside into church. When we got into church there, he called this guy, Claudius. Said, Claudius, come. Asked him, where's the sound? The boy explained that I did not have, I don't know. Such a sweet boy, harmless. Everybody, who's in that church, they must ask themselves, what happened to Claudius? Where is Claudius even today? We called Claudius that he took the firearm, this prophet, he shot down just to scare Claudius. Claudius did not know the sound. He said, I don't know the sound. Claudius was beaten by this man, by Pastor Bolbet, to come nice, to such an extent to the point of death. The man, the way he was beaten, the ribs were broken. The man was beaten by him. And also has asked us to beat this man, to torture him so that he can tell the truth. Where's the sound? As this is happening, I hear a voice asking me and say, if this man claims to be a prophet, why cannot see that this boy is innocent?
Yo.
By that time, he's busy beating this boy. And also he said, must beat him, he must tell the truth. Then the voice said loud and clear, if this man says he's a prophet, why cannot see that this boy is innocent? After beating this boy, he was wearing some mini-sheet items. We were asked to take them off, remove them. And I'm beating this boy with this other boy who stays in church. His name is Simba. So, took the t-shirts, took everything, and then said we must put this boy in a bakkie. We go and dump him somewhere. We went to dump him somewhere. All these things are troubling me, but look, man. Where is this God that here we're being introduced, this man is talking about? Every Sunday we'll be going on the pulpit parading God, this power, this. What is happening here? Claudius was beaten. When we came back, the man asked me and said, look, but tell me, did you finish him? I'm asking, what do you mean did I finish him? So in other words, you expected me to kill him. You hear that? So that tells you, it speaks volumes that this person is a person who's very, very, very dangerous. Who does not have a mercy at all. And prior to that, he has asked me to get him a firearm, an unlicensed firearm. I used my connections. I got him an unlicensed firearm. But I'm asking myself, what is he going to do with this firearm? I got him that unlicensed firearm. And I got him another firearm as well. That one is an assassination tool because it looks like a pen. If you can come with here, you don't know that it's a gun. You think it's a pen. I got him that one. So all these weapons, what is it doing with these weapons and being a prophet? And I heard later that he has been intimidating people who are staying in church with firearms and whatnot, Moving forward, it came a point where now he asked me to buy a morning after pill.
Okay.
I'm thinking, okay, when he called me, do you know morning after pill? I said, yes, I know it. It's okay. Go and get. He gave me money. Go and get as many as you can get.
As many as you can get. All right.
I'm thinking that maybe they're for the wife, but hey. And before he could send me, he started by blasting me, saying something like, you maybe don't listen, I've done something, to shake you, And then, okay, maybe, let me not think too much. Maybe the enemy is playing with my mind here. Let me just go and get what this man wants. I bought them. I gave it. I put them in the office. And then I left. But there was a small voice. But this morning after pills, the girls were staying in church. Like Nade Joseph explained, and the wife, when they were here 2 weeks ago, and the others were staying in church. But I was, kind of begging in my heart, but what is all about this morning after pills? But it's got nothing to do with me. Let me not, bother myself with this. The other day he called me. I was in Joburg. He called me. Remember what you called me that day? Yes, Prophet, which is referring to the morning after pills. Please go and get it for me. Get as many as you can get. If you go to this pharmacy, I don't have, move and go to another pharmacy. And initially he said, if Zwane's got a pharmacy, I could have asked Zwane to give me this, but Zwane will, he's sleeping. As many as you get, I got them. I went to deliver them. He asked again. Now we'll go to this pharmacy, from this pharmacy, from that pharmacy. Some they said, look, cannot sell you because, you're a male. We need the person, who really needs this. The woman, the lady. Now we'll meet people who are passing, ask a lady, can you help me, because I need to please this so-called spiritual father. This father thinking this person is a man of God, is representing God. I did that. Got it this morning after pills, and then I took these pills to him. And now this voice says stronger that this morning after pills are for those people who are staying in church. Legally, I know this was happening. And then later now when the issue of the rapes and all that came out, and then people were given morning after pills, now that's where it came back. So look, this is what you've been stalking. There can be other people who are doing that, but I was one of them, definitely without a doubt. Because on these occasions, he has asked me, bring morning after pills, get as many as you can, And then even when he found about Joseph, where his parents are residing, I was not going to church for a very long time. Coming out was already, I've seen in my spirit, it's clear that here, there's no God here. These are just moves. There's no God at all here, So he sent me a message to say, look, can you trace me where these people are staying?
Bo Joseph.
Okay. And I was not going to church, but he gave me the numbers. He did not even say about Joseph. He gave me the numbers. I traced the numbers through my contacts. I came back to him. I emailed him the information. But I was troubled. I said, look, man, what is Joseph's surname?